implementations. So currently I'm working as a senior software engineer outside India. Well, so and I have delivered more than 300 plus hours of SailPoint IIQ trainings, across the countries such as India, Singapore, USA, Mexico, Canada, and so on. Well, so let's see what is today's agenda of this webinar. So advanced lifecycle management, SailPoint IIQ 8.5 highlights. So what's new in SailPoint IIQ, and what are the extensive features of 8.5 we're gonna have a glance at, and as well as I'm going to give lot of tips and tricks for the integration, and there's a lot of real-time use cases to bring it up today. And as I said, the question and answer sessions, so you can always ask me questions in the chat, or you can always ask me any questions you have. So I will be giving some opportunity at the end of the session today. And yeah, so it may be regarding to your career next steps, or maybe anything you feel there are some challenges you are facing in your current project, or any informations. I'm always happy to answer those questions. Well, so, all right. So let's start with the advanced lifecycle management. Well, so it's one of the heart of identity governance, guys. Okay, lifecycle management. So it covers joiner, leaver, mover, manager transfer, and all those processes. So in an organization, always do prefer to have custom lifecycle events, guys. Extend beyond the JML part of it, like trigger the workflows based on business logic. So the based on the requirement, to try to build the logic and try to achieve or trigger the workflows based on those logics. Yeah, and as well as make it as HR driven, like HR attribute driven events, or so try to keep it as crisp, no to assign the birthright provisioning accesses, or all of those things based on the HR attributes. So those are all the trusted data which we can implement our logics on. Yeah, and next is the system detected changes. So always try to detect the changes based on the movement or the access derivations. For example, if the role has been changed for the user, okay, it has been detected that his role is now removed, then we can always make certain flows that will trigger based on that system detected changes. Yeah, and there are some best example I would like to give here. So when I say beyond the JML, so contract extensions we can take. So based on the end date of the user, so maybe notifying the manager or directors that this user is getting expired on so and so, this contract is getting expired on so and so date. So kindly take action on his leaver process, or maybe before the contract expires, so do take action on that particular user, something like that. So this is an contract extension process you can have. And as well as a project role expiration. So well, if somebody's role is getting expired according to the project, so taking actions on them. So maybe extending his role access, or making remove the access, or let it expire the access, and ask him to resubmit All right. Yeah. Yep. So I've just logged into the SailPoint environment. So let's try to check the access requests. Let's go to the access request. So I did run some of the test cases here. So I just want to walk you through those test cases and with the results. No, yeah. All right. So, well, I can see here, so you see there's an access request. So try to auto-generate the access request, guys. So as part of the joiner, lever, mover, so try to generate the access request. Okay, so have a flow in such a way that it should generate the access request here. So see, this has been triggered from the life cycle. Okay, and what action it has been taken here? So delete action it has taken. No, probably the user has left the organization. Yeah, so his accounts have been deleted. And you see there's another flow happen here, so which is a joiner flow. And it always gives you a best visibility of yeah, either it may be a birthright access you wanted to provision to the user, or whatever the access you wanted to grant to the user. So you can always have that visibility if you incorporate the access. Well, yep. So, and I can also see here there is another, and for the lever processes, have it as a lever here. All right. So this would ensure that the user's access is being given on the right basis, and as part of the joiner or as part of the lever, the right actions have been taken on the user. This ensures the organization is more secure. All right. So there's one piece I thought of, and also just try to monitor the failures in the processes of task results. So either if it is a joiner, okay, so just you see a mini bank joiner. Okay, so there's an organization I have implemented for which is a mini bank joiner process. It's a custom process. So mini bank lever process you see here. No, yeah. Well, I can go to the lifecycle events to just show you how the lifecycle events are our custom lifecycle events are created here. So you see, this is I've named it as mini bank joiner. Okay, mini bank lever. So this is my joiner workflow, joiner event. So let me try to open the joiner event. Yep. So here, the event, if you see, this is a joiner event and processing a new employee and what workflow is being called here. So this is a custom lifecycle event joiner process. So as part of the joiner, I'm just creating the user in one of the database application and one of the Active Directory application there. So that's what I'm achieving here with the help of this custom business process, and as well as I am generating this flow. I've incorporated that step by using the default workflows into my custom workflow, in order to incorporate this sort of access request here. Well, yep. So having custom lifecycle events and having the access request IDs, so that would enhance your security posture, I would say. Yeah. All right. Next, the dynamic role and policy management. Well, so try to make smarter access decisions, guys. Okay, so when I say smarter access decisions, so try to automate things as much as possible, and also try to avoid the more customizations.
So we should not make the system as overburdened. So try to keep it as smarter and a simplest way possible here. Well, so one of the things you can do is attribute-based provisioning. So when I say attribute-based role assignment, so you can always do define a birthright access role for a sales engineer. Okay, for example, a sales engineer. So whenever somebody join as a sales engineer with that particular job role, no, a job title or a job role, no, I can define a job role and what are the provisionings I need to do as part of that sales engineer role. Okay, what applications I need to define to the user. Well, I want to assign users in a Salesforce application, in a financial application, or some other application, yeah, procurement related applications, sales related applications. So those things I can just define an IT role, that is an IT privileged role, and that role can be given as a required role into a business role, and I can assign that based on the attribute value. So it may be a designation value, or it may be a job title or any other values, or it may be a department role. Based on that, I can assign the role to the user, guys. Okay, well, so that is the about the attribute based role assignments. Okay, and always try to have real time updates when the identities changes on any attributes. No, well, so this gives you a more advanced view of how identities nowadays you can see in 8.4 onwards, SailPoint introduced that identity access history. Yeah, so try to make use of that identity access history, so which will give you the entire graph of the user's access. Okay, so when the identity got created, and what role has been assigned to the user, what applications have been provisioned to the user, and okay, if the role changes happened, okay, when that role change has been detected on top of the user, and which role is removed and which new role has been assigned to the user. So try to have it as a real-time information updates on the user, and try to have a track on the access history, no, on top of, try to make a use of the access history, so which is available from 8.4 onwards. So that's very good feature, guys. Even we are using in our environment, so it gives me a complete track of end users accesses here. Well, also try to have SODs in place, so the segregation of duties, and having an automated policies enforcement. So when I say policy enforcement, so try to define the SOD policies. So based on a role SOD or an entitlement SOD. Okay, when I say role SOD, if user having A role and B role, well, if A and B are toxic combinations, okay, so role A and role B is a toxic combination of role. Okay, so if user is part of A and he should not be part of B. Okay, so that's what my policy says. Okay, so this is the toxic combination of policy, I would say. And in order to detect these violations, okay, so try to have a policy. If somebody is having in this particular application account, if he has A role and a B role, then it should be detected as a violation, and the policy violation owner has to take a action on that particular violation here. Okay, so something like that. So having an automated policy enforcement, or at least having a manual or a timely based enforcement would advise, guys. Okay, at least you need to have a timely based manual enforcement of policies here, SOD policies mainly. Yeah, this will secure the organizations in terms of risk and vulnerability attacks, all of that. And any unwanted access the user is having, so that can be easily determined with the help of this policy enforcement. The better benefits and are like, so you don't need to have lot of tickets on the access on the access issues. If user A is having an unwanted access or the conflicting access, so you can always have a manual process of revocation. For example, maybe a security officer submits you a service now ticket or a Jira ticket, and as a SailPoint engineer, you need to see and you need to take an action on those particular access conflicts. So yeah, if you have automated policy enforcement, then I guess that manual process of removing the access would get reduced. So when that will result in fewer tickets or tasks, I would say, or incidents, I would say. So faster onboarding process. So it will determine the since there is a dynamic role in place for the assignments. So user will get access on a right time. Yeah. So whenever the user joins on a fifth day, so all his accesses, or maybe beforehand, before the joining of 1 week, the user gets all the required accesses what he is supposed to have. Yeah. All right. So this will ensure the user's accesses here. Next, the stronger compliance posture. So as the crucial for an organization is the governance and compliance. So to make compliance as more stronger, so having these processes would definitely enhance these things for us. Well, all right. So there are some best practices. Well, I'm going to give you more information, guys. Okay. Lot of links as well going forward. Yeah. Uh, and as I said, the exclusive tips for the integration, I will be covering up a little bit later. Well, so keeping the life cycle events. Yeah. So, the best practices for the compliance identity flows is keeping the life cycle models as modular and reusable and simple as much as possible. Yeah. So try to keep the lifecycle modules as modular, so keep it as trendy, and also make it as reusable ones. Yeah. So use clear naming conventions in the have a naming convention defined for your workflows and lifecycle events, guys. So this would have more benefits. For example, here you can see there is an example I've given. So HR rehire validation process. Okay, so instead of having it as just like flow rehire something, so maintaining a standard naming convention on workflows and events, so that is organization standard, I would say. So even you can have it like your client name at the beginning, like so if it is a mini bank, so mini bank HR rehire process. So whatever you customize, so try to have it with that names would definitely help you moving forward there. Yeah. No, definitely help you in maintaining things and also try to write a short descriptions into the workflow. So what does that workflow do? And also have an extensive document. Try to document it, like what does the workflow do? Yeah, have a proper naming convention, have a proper documentation, so we'll ensure that okay, whosoever joins the organization, they have better understanding of the environment, like how it is being implemented, and whenever they want to upgrade or migrate, so definitely those would are more valuable in terms of the organization's feasibility, I would say. Well, and also have build try to build monitoring and exception handling in each and every flow. So when I say exception handling, well, so if registration fails for a reason, so how to handle that registration flow? Okay, well, you have in your organization you have a process, so where end user can register himself. Yeah. So if that registration got failed, okay, so then what are the next steps? What are the exception handling? So saying the end user that okay, so the system is unavailable, due to the maintenance for this time. So try it again. So something like that. So doing an exception handling will always make user experience as better experience, I would say. Try to deliver it as better as possible and make it as friendly as possible to the end user, so he should not feel that okay, there's a system and there's an access allocated to me, and if something is getting failed, so user will never understand that okay, so what's happening in the backend, right? So the technical part, no, they won't be able to understand it. So try to make it user friendly, no, prompt and user friendly exception. Okay, whenever this error comes, okay, so we prompt this saying that okay, it's unavailable due to the maintenance, or at the moment the system is busy, so try again, something like that. So having such kind of exception handling process will definitely, help the user experience, I would say. Yeah. So next we have the test. Test. Try to do user acceptance testing for each and every process, guys. Okay. So test with edge cases. Okay. So never ever have some surprise. Okay. Due to a rehire or due to a transfer. Okay. So due to a dual roles, or a contingent workers, having any process defined. So try to take a scenario and try to test end to end, guys. Okay, so try to test in such a way that it should never break anything. Yeah. So well, for example, you can take this rehire process. Okay? So try to take a rehire process. So rehire some user with a, as usual, with a normal procedure, and try to rehire a user with a back date, or maybe no 10 days upfront. Okay, so upfront date you can give, and you can just try to see whether system functions properly or not. Yeah. So if you give the future date, yeah, so whether it works or not. If you give the backend back date, whether it works fine or not. So testing the scenarios end to end, or if there is any hold process in between. Okay, so once the rehired user should not be immediately have all the right accesses. Okay, you may have a certain process of in hold process or something like that, or user did not join back. So what actions you need to take on top of the user, that that's really necessary for an organization to have, handling those kind of cases as well, because it shouldn't be a break after your implementation. So try to test it in your dev acceptance, or maybe your test environment. So whatsoever is available, have a regression testing of each use case, and try to, yeah, sit with the HR and try to understand each and every use case and try to implement it with the edge use cases. Well, and another example I have is a single manager change subflow. Well, a manager change, so in many cases, manager change can happen, guys. Okay, so when somebody manager is changed, so there's another occurrence. Well, when the HR has changed the manager temporarily as a delegated manager, so what are the subflows that needs to be called? Yeah, so having that one manager change process and calling over other processes would definitely make our solution as a simplified solution, I would say. So whatever you build, build it according to a reusable, it reused across the onboarding or transfer or offboarding of the processes. So it will give you best solution, I would say. And having, defining a workflow from another sub workflow, that would make our job simpler, I would say, rather than building it multiple flows. Yeah. All right. So one, remove, no, try to take a note of having a proper naming conventions across the organization standards, and as well as having an automatic alerts the another example I would say is having automatic alert. So to avoid high risk of yeah, so well, if somebody failed and and after tool, notifying a manager or administrator, maybe application owner itself, no, so that the application owner knows like okay which account is failed and what action he needs to take. Well, the problem could be from the SailPoint side, or the problem could be from the application side. So whatsoever the problem is, no, we need to investigate and we need to have a proper solution defined in the environment. Yeah, and so that's what having an automatic alerts would help in. It adds a lot of value for the provisionings and for the acceptance of applications also, I would. For larger organizations, guys. So when I say larger organizations having so many processes, so many subflows, users moving here and there within the organization with more number of employees, like 100,000 employees. Handle all those if you have this automatic alerts in place when it comes to the provisioning flows here. All right. Yeah. So now let's talk about yeah, I would like to tell you an rumor. So the next expected version is the next expected version is 8.9 version, guys. Okay, so there is a rumor going on, which is the next version is not 8.6, so it's going to be 9. Okay, so SailPoint may release a 9 version of Identity IQ. Yeah, so that's the upcoming thing. But for now, we have is 8.5. I guess it's P2. 8.5 P2 is the latest what we have. All right, so this is just a rumor. Cool. So let's see what's new in 8.5. Well, so SailPoint is tried bringing lot of AI stuff into 8.5 version, guys, like Gen AI enhancements. For example, AI generated entitlement descriptions. Yeah, so SailPoint can always auto generate the entitlement descriptions. Yeah, so AI generated entitlement descriptions. I will also show you some examples of that. And also AI assisted access recommendations. Yeah, so whenever user gets uh, access recommendations, so whenever an audit happens or whenever the access is being revoked on top of the user, so AI will always show you what is the best practice of based on the access history what the user is having. The system will try to show you what is the best decisions you can take on top of the user's access. Okay, so next we have this enhanced the Microsoft Teams integration. So this is also one of the best features, guys. Now most of the organizations are implementing yeah, to make things faster as possible. No, lot of things like Workday, Salesforce, ServiceNow. Okay, most of the applications are notifying you via Teams. If there is some pending actions or pending decisions you need to take, if you are an application owner or an entitlement owner, or an authorized person to take some approvals. So yeah, so they are reaching via Teams, right? So nowadays system can, our SailPoint can also reach to the certifier or end user or the approver, via Teams as well. So this is something special that 8.5 has one of the highlight that 8.5 has launched for us. So I will also show you some screenshots of it, and yeah, so and also improved access modeling and anomaly detection. So those also something new. Well, so I have an important references here. So let me try to share you this link in the chat. So just try to visit this link, guys. It's really a nice thing that SailPoint has documented about the integration and GenAI thing. Well, let me quickly put it in the chat here. Okay, all right, so let me just put it in the chat. So just try to visit this link, guys. This is quite helpful reference from the developer community. All right, so try to be part of a developer community as you can be up to date. Yeah, so you need to be up to date. You should have all the trending information with you so that you are a proper engineer, yeah, in the current space. All right, so let me go to, yes, so these are some of the screen grabs I have with me, so which I want to show you guys. Well, so now you see this is a Microsoft Teams, yeah, and there's a specific section of Identity IQ, my approvals. So system can directly go to the, uh, you know, SailPoint can directly trigger your approval from here, and from the Microsoft Teams. Yeah, so you can take any action you want, like approve or deny. So there's somebody who is requesting procurement system access here. Okay, so this is a new account action. Okay, either you want to approve or you want to deny it. So you can always take a decision from the Microsoft Teams as well. Well, so once you take a decision from the Microsoft Teams, so what happens here is the system yeah, gets the information in all logs, so it will show you something like this. So yeah, so from where the decision has been taken. Yeah, so the decision has been taken from the no, it has been approved from the Microsoft Teams, you see. So you may have a process of approving it from an email or maybe a Microsoft Teams, or you maybe have a no, source of SailPoint. So you see this is a normal approval. So that is LCM approval. So that is within the SailPoint. Yeah. So if it is approved via Teams, so you can see the process here. It will show it is via Microsoft Teams. All right. So the next thing we have is, yeah. So the SailPoint IIQ Gen AI entitlement descriptions. So this is another wonderful thing that SailPoint has bought us. So when I was talking about the entitlement descriptions, if you just go to the entitlement Gen AI description, so you can see here the suggested description is, this entitlement provides the user with operational privileges, enabling them to manage and maintain the day-to-day operations. So something like this. So it will try to suggest, okay, these are all the suggestions we have. Suggested. So if you just submit that suggestion, so what happens is system will take that entitlement description and it will you in your entitlement catalog. So as you directly go to the entitlement catalog, you can see the description. You see this. This is from the AI. Okay, this is also from the AI generated description. Yeah. So this is something that system has. 8.5 has bought one of the highlights for us here. All right. So far, any questions, guys? Anybody has any questions? All right. Yeah. However, I'm going to give you more. No, I'm going to give you some more time at the end. Maybe at last 10 minutes, I'll give you more opportunity to ask questions. So don't worry. You can think of the questions and you can ask me whatever you feel. Well, so here comes my extensive integration tips. So whenever you are in a project and you want to perform some integration, well, so just try to do a feasibility check with the APIs, or just before you finalize the approach of integration, just try to see what are the what is the feasibility, what is the, you know, in what way I can perform the integration with that particular application database. Try to have a direct connection with that particular system. Okay, any application you take, you want to perform a certain integration. Yeah, so just try to take that example. Okay, so you want to integrate some application there. Yeah, and first, finalize the approach. So just check, okay, is it database integration is possible or not, whether it has a backend database or not, does that application supports APIs, okay, whether it has some internal APIs which I can consume it, or the application has any other mechanism so where I can perform the integration. Either I can do a REST API call, maybe I have to build the APIs, or so checking out the modern integration patterns, guys. Okay, so I don't advise you to take a delimited route. So delimited case has a lot of disadvantages. I would say if you have a CSV based integration, so that's not the right thing. I would say so. You may miss a lot of manual efforts you might need to put if you go with a CSV by file based integration. So instead of that, so just try to SQL integration or database integration, so that will even do the provisioning for us into the application. Yeah, cool. So the best approach, from the approaches I would always advise is, as lot of organizations, lot of platforms and applications, business applications are moving to the cloud. So I would advise use REST APIs for the integrations, and so that it is lightweight and you can achieve more reliable, I would say. So more reliable integration also, I would say. And also try to have a strong authentication mechanism, guys. Okay, when I say strong authentication mechanism, so just do not depend on basic authentication. So rather having a client secret, or a client ID, client secret, or maybe refresh UI, something like that. So, having a token URL dedicatedly, or a token expiration, so that would definitely advise it for the security integration. So if there is no other option, so that's always fine to go with the basic authentication. So yeah, but I would advise checking it on the client ID, client secret, so those Auth0 kind of authentication, I would say. Well, so yeah, as I just suggested, the other tip is leverage the event-based triggers for the real-time updates. So having notification to the event-based triggers. So when I say event-based triggers, so we can trigger the lifecycle event via workflow, via rule, via an attribute change, via script, via filter. So there are many ways you can trigger a lifecycle event, guys. So I would preferably just have it as a simple one, via attribute change, maybe flag change. So if somebody is, inactive flag is this, inactive flag is true, then just try to take the decisions that are needed on top of it. So keep the connector configurations as version control. So this is also one of the key things. Like, when I say version controlled, well, see, you are upgrading your environment to the next version of SailPoint, let us assume. If you're upgrading it, well, so if you're, for example, if Java 11 is outdated in the coming up version, for example, then if without Java 11, okay, well, your application is completely dependent on Java 11, for example. Now, if you are upgrading your SailPoint to 12 or maybe 13, then what happens is, so it would become outdated. Yeah, and your application will no longer support, okay, after your upgrade. So ensuring that no few things at least, keeping in mind that having a backup plan. Well, if this doesn't support, then what should I no having an analysis beforehand, before the migration, having it beforehand, the details, like that will minimize a lot of time, no congestion, or no time issues later part of the implementation, I would say. So keeping the connector configurations as version control, and within the control, that would always having the documentation of any major connector. Okay, for example, you are using my workday or a workday connector. So having an analysis of the future version of the workday. Okay, if SailPoint has updated that connector, so checking out the feasibility of the version compatibility. So what version of workday you have in the current version, and once you upgrade, whether that version is supported or not, whether the lower version is supported or not. So having that understanding will definitely avoid lot of issues and lot of surprises at later point of the upgradation, or no, you will definitely face less challenges, rather than going into a complete rollback of an upgrade or a failure, I would say. So monitoring the integration health with the automated alerts. Well, so SailPoint always offers us with the yeah, aggregation results, and aggregation email notifications as well. Like whenever a task gets failed in the environment, an aggregation task, or yeah, a group aggregation or entitlement aggregation or account aggregation task fails, it always notifies you that okay, this task is failed. So keep monitoring of those things will also help you to maintain the healthier system. Yeah, testing the integration with a dedicated sandbox. Yeah, so do not ever directly go to the production and perform the integration, guys. Okay, have a procedure in between, like dev first, doing it in a dev environment with their dev environment of that application, and then with your test environment with their test environment, and then the production environment, I would say. So rather directly integrating in the production would take you to another consequences. Yeah, so just try to have that visibility on the integration testing as well. So try to do have a dedicated sandbox, and try to do a regression testing without any failures or that. So having an implement retry mechanism, yeah. So or something got back off, then you just try to have a retry mechanism in between. Okay, so if it fails in the first place, then what I should take, what steps I should take. So for example, the service now is temporarily unavailable. Okay, so we can always say, okay, retry after 30 seconds, or then 2 minutes, or then 5 minutes. So handling it in such a way that at least with an iteration, two, three iterations would definitely give you no more excellent user experience, I would say, guys. Yeah. So validate the REST API calls. Yeah, this is another important thing, guys. Having a Postman setup or API testing, so where you can do a proper validation of the APIs. So in a non-production environment, so try to check all the functionalities of whether the APIs are suitable for the integration or not. So that would give you more, enhancements towards the yeah. So that gives more enhanced view of the integration, guys. Okay. So rather than after implementing something and then breaking something a little bit later. Yeah. All right. So this is something you can always do take. So these are all certain integration techniques from my side, guys. All right. So yes. So question and answer session, guys. Okay. So you have any questions or any issues, challenges you are facing in the current project? So just try to put it in the chat, or you can just try to unmute yourself and ask me the questions, and I'm happy to help you with all the any questions regarding to your career, next steps, or anything if you really want to ask me. Yep. Anything, guys? You want to ask me? Yeah, well, you always get a CP certificate, guys, as part of this webinar since you have joined this webinar. And this webinar is also going to be available on the InfoSec official YouTube channel. Yeah, so just try to visit for more information on that. And yeah, so do complete the feedback in order to get your CP certificate. So this certificate is yeah, the link is in the chat. So just try to submit your feedback, and definitely this will give you very valuable for your resume as well as for your skill set of the database for your for the knowledge. Any questions you have, guys? Yeah, hope it helped you to learn more things, and thanks for joining, guys.